Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well and having a really great day. In this video, I'm gonna review this Polominer Pro. This is a server case for GPU mining from Polominer.com. Thank you to them. They sent this to me for review. And so I'm just gonna go through all the specs here, and then we'll also fill it in with graphics cards and give it a try, see how it performs and all that good stuff. So before I begin, this video is sponsored by Octominer. Octominer is a complete Bitcoin mining solutions provider and the largest distributor of Bitcoin mining equipment in the United States. Octominer has got all your mining needs covered by offering everything from the latest ASIC miners to mobile mining containers and power transformers, as well as complete hosting services and full facility buildouts. Their team of over 100 mining experts has got you covered by offering exceptional customer service. They also offer installment payment plans, which makes getting into Bitcoin mining or scaling your existing mining operations that much easier. Link down below to wadam.io/RPM. All right, guys, so the Polominer server case here also comes with a box here of just handles. It has two handles here and a bunch of screws for the I/O of the graphics cards, and the spacing for the graphics cards is 65 millimeter. That's a really nice wide standard spacing for GPUs in a server case like that, so that's really good. And so these two handles will go, they just screw into the sides here of the server case. And actually, you know what, let me do that right now. Okay, here it is with the handles. It's fairly easy to screw it in on the back side on this handle, but this handle was extremely hard to install. I was able to do the top one. Thank God I have a ratcheting screwdriver, but I was not able to put in the bottom one. I can't get my screwdriver in there and leverage enough for my hand to screw in this bottom one, so it's gonna stay like that until I can find a smaller screwdriver that I can fit in there and essentially screw in the bottom screw. So that's the handles. Not really a big deal, but ultimately this Polominer Pro, it can be sat vertical, right? That's one of the things that you guys have seen with my other server cases, my Octominers. Very similar idea, but with the Polominer Pro here, the biggest difference, I believe, this new second iteration of their server case is this LCD screen, which shows the mining rig temperature, operating temperature, and also the mining rig uptime. So that's a pretty cool feature that they have here in the controller right there. So apparently all the fans are also plugged in. All of these are 120 mil fans, which are also controlled depending on the temperatures. So if it's like winter time, it will automatically bring down the temperature based on, I guess, the operating temperature of this server case. So, okay, next is the 2400 watt power supply. This only runs on 200 to 240 volts. Looking at how this is wired in, all of the PCIe cables here, and it looks like there's eight dedicated 18 gauge PCIe cables that go into the riserless motherboard, and then how the GPUs are powered are daisy chaining off basically from this riserless board, 6-pin to dual 8-pin. Now, I have some reservations about this, and I don't know the long-term effects of, especially if you have, let's say, 3080s. Apparently you can do 8 3080s in here or 5 3090s, according to Polominer.com with their 2400 watt. And I think later down the road, they're gonna have higher capacity power supplies. So stay tuned on their website if you're interested about that. But essentially the 6-pin is going to be powering each of these 6 pins. There's 8 of them are going to power each GPUs. So in theory, these should be able to handle about 300 watts. Now, I am not certain if this motherboard can handle up to 300 watts per 6-pin, like distribute that power through, I guess, the 2400 watt on this side, right, which all this power goes on this way, into the 8 6-pins coming out here for the GPUs, begs the question. I guess we can test that out. I have a couple 3080s that we'll put in here and some other GPUs, and we'll just see how it fits. Here is the back of the I/O for the GPUs. Looks pretty standard for a server mining case. Here is the I/O for the motherboard. It has a VGA, 2 USB 3.0, 2 USB 2.0, 1 Ethernet. And it looks like this could be the power button right in the back here. Along with that, this motherboard has apparently a 64 gig M-SATA SSD, and I think this already has preloaded with Hive OS. And then there's also 8 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, and I believe a G1840 processor for the CPU. Front I/O of the Polominer is on and off button, is a reset button, and there's a power and HDD LED, and then there's also 2 USB ports in the front. But I believe those 2 USB ports in the front are not actually usable, as I do see the USB header wasn't plugged in when I opened up the top here. So, and I was looking at the motherboard, the riserless motherboard, there is no extra USB header to plug this in. So I think these 2 USB ports are rendered just nothing. You can't use them. Alright guys, so that's really the specs of this whole Polominer Pro. Now, this wouldn't be a video if I didn't try it out and put GPUs in. So let me go find 8 graphics cards that I can fill in here, and we'll see how it goes. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got a wide range of GPUs in the Polominer. So I have a 30HX, I got an A2000, I have an RTX 3080 non-LHR. Actually, the moniker LHR, it doesn't matter anymore as it's been unlocked. RTX Founders Edition 3070, A2000, A2000. We then have a CMP 50HX and a CMP 90HX. So I got a wide range of different GPUs and sizes in here. Essentially, straight off the bat, I have to say I really like the stabilizer bars here. There's 2 of them. In case anyone decides to vertical mount their server case, like the Polominer, the GPUs essentially won't sag. So since I do have a different set of GPUs here, some of them are different heights, but majority of people who are going to be buying these are probably going to have the same GPUs and the same height. So that's where these stabilizer bars really make sense, in which that it holds the GPU in place if you do decide to put this vertically, and so that they won't sag, essentially. I'm gonna have to give this feature a +1 against the Octominer, because the Octominers don't have a stabilizer bar, especially in the X8 Ultras. So that's one nice touch I found with these bars, as it keeps the GPUs in place. It was very easy to screw in the GPUs. I just used 1 screw per graphics card. It was no problem in the I/O part here. And yeah, they all went in no problem, without a hitch. So guys, let me go ahead and let me turn it on and get it mining in Hive OS, and I'll show you guys the power consumption for this whole rig. So be right back. Alright, take a look at this. This is the LCD screen while it's on. It says 38 degrees Celsius. I believe that's the ambient temperature for the mining rig here. And also you can see the mining rig uptime, runtime says 8 minutes and 47 seconds. So that's how long I've had it mining now. You guys can see all the GPUs it's been going. Here is the power consumption at the PDU, 5.14 amps at 232 volt. But at the wall, just in case anyone wants to know, that whole rig with all those GPUs, almost 1200 watts, or 1188, 1190 something. That's the watts at the wall, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you guys the mining rig, the hash rates that it's achieving. So there you go. It's about 5 minutes uptime. I guess, oh, the first couple minutes I had to put in all the overclocks and restart the miner. And yeah, now it's good. You guys can see the hash rates here of the 30HX, A2000, 3080, 3070, A2000, A2000, 50HX, 90HX. So one thing I just thought of is, I think this is in order. This is actually in order. 90HX, 50HX, 2 A2000s, 3070, 3080, A2000, 30HX. 90HX, 50HX, A2000, A2000, 3070, 3080, A2000, 30HX. Yeah, that's literally in order. The PCIe bus for each of the PCIe slots looks like this is already in order, in conjunction in HiveOS. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know in the Octominers, they're all different slots. So whatever card you put in, it's actually a different number, not in order in HiveOS. So hey, another +1 for Polominer. And in case anyone want to see my overclocks for all of these GPUs, it's right here on this side, okay? Core, mem, power limit for the 30HX, but I'm using absolute core clock for a majority of these cards here. Okay, and that's the hash rate that I am getting. Let me just refresh. There you go, 31, 41 on the A2000, almost 100 on the 3080. The mem temp is getting a little bit higher, but it looks like the Polominer is handling it just fine. 62 on the 3070 and 50HX, 56, 98, yeah, on the 90HX. So that's all well and good, guys. This Polominer is running great so far. 8 minutes in now. Now, one thing, I don't have the lid on top, so let me put it on and we'll just see what the temperatures are. Okay, the lid's on. I'm gonna let that go for a bit here. I wanted to talk about the price of the Polominer Pro. So on their website, polominer.com, it's about $849. And they are also based in Indiana, in USA, as well as if they have any failure within that 1 month when you receive it, any damage, or a part doesn't work, they will replace it right away. Or 6 months into it, if there's any hardware failure, they will replace the part right away. And if you need bulk ordering, they do that one-on-one service as well. For anyone that wants to order tons of these, I think you might get a deal. But if we look at the price of shipping, it adds on another 60 bucks. Okay, I'm just pretending here I'm in Texas. So it's $909 US, all right? And you can check out with PayPal, and you can also check out with credit or debit cards as well. So that's a nice touch. But I want to compare just a competing brand. Like, you guys know Octominer, X8 Ultra Plus. You guys have seen these on my channel before. So they sell them for $619 or $699 depending on the spec. But an issue for some people, if not most people, the MOQ of 5, you have to purchase 5 of them, right? So it could potentially work out to about 800, maybe 900 bucks as well after shipping and possibly customs and duties and taxes. So I believe it could probably cost more. But of course, sometimes Octominer does have the MOQ of 1. You guys have seen that on my channel. So I think these are comparable prices. Now, if you guys think the features though of the Polominer, that begs the question, right? What I showed you guys today, let me know down below what you guys think of this, comparing it to my Octominers that I've tested before. Really, the big difference between this and the Octominer, I have to say, would be the power supplies. The Octominers are hot swappable and essentially have a bit more capacity, right? And also have, I would say, have better PCIe cabling, as you have different strands going into the GPUs and not through the motherboard like the Polominer has here. That could be all well and good, assuming you use, less powerful GPUs like 3070s and under. For example, if I have all 8 3080s in here with this type of setup with the power going through the motherboard, and then if the overclocks, for instance, went back to stock for some reason, then those 3080s would potentially run over 300 watts and could burn the 18 gauge cabling or potentially the motherboard. So that's one thing. I'm not quite sold just because of the motherboard and how the power goes into the motherboard. That's actually one of the first times I've seen that, where the PCIe comes out for the GPUs. So that's an interesting touch. Maybe Polominer.com in the future can upgrade to the B250 chipset, as I believe this is the 100 series chipset, also has VGA, not HDMI, like I would say the other server cases out there that we've tried, the B250 chipsets. So that's one thing to think about as well. But I really do like the 2 bars that goes across in case you want to put this vertical. That might make sense for a lot of people who need to use these in mass and just at scale, right? And so that would be really cool so that the GPUs don't sag. That's a really nice touch. Anyways, it's been running for a little bit now with the lid on. Let's see what the temperatures are of the GPU. It's been about 16 minutes in. And it looks like we are still good. We're not thermal throttling on any of the GPUs. 469, yeah, 469 mega hash. And the whole rigs here says 999 watts. But at the wall, just to confirm one more time, we are at, I'm using a single C13 to C14 power cable, just to let you all know. And the power here is 5.2 amps. But at the wall, we are at 1200 now. It looks like it's gone up a little bit. I'm assuming the fans have kicked up a notch due to the ambient temperature. So that's where the LCD screen, yeah, the ambient temperature has gone up. I'm assuming these 120 mil fans are going really high at, I think, 7,500 RPM each. So that's a lot, right? And so there should be a decent amount of airflow. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of airflow coming in the back here. Alright guys, that's it. That's it for this review of the Polominer Pro. Thank you so much, Polominer.com, for sending this to me. I have to say, it's a great server case. It's really great. I have no issues with it thus far. I will probably put this along with my Octominers, probably at my new mining location. So pretty nice, pretty nice. Thanks so much. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts of this, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.